to raise awareness for us?
The biggest concern with diffusion centers is the role that the federal government is playing with them. First of all, if knowledge is power and information is knowledge, and you're centralizing that in one place, you're centralizing power. And these fusion centers, they don't just compile information for themselves, they share this data with foreign governments and with private corporations. So, for example, in Oklahoma, there's a memorandum of understanding between the Oklahoma Fusion Center and the country of Germany, where they're sharing driver's license information between the two, which is major. And if you read this memorandum of understanding, Oklahoma residents can go to Germany and get a German driver's license without taking a driver's test. Same thing. German drivers can now come to Oklahoma and get an Oklahoma driver's license without taking a test. Now, to me, the driver's test is supposed to be about safety. And when you have a country where they drive on the left-hand side of the road who are able to come over and get a driver's license, but yes, this is all coming from international standards. The Oklahoma driver's license fits these international standards, Real ID being an example of that. That's why we're moving toward the Real ID system. These fusion centers are also an international standard. This is coming down from the CFR and the United Nations, this concept of fusing information together to defend the homeland. That is a global government structure, global government institution. And so what happens is, let's say the Nashville City PD decides we want to start a fusion center here in Nashville that is operated by the city police. They would then go to DHS and apply for a grant. DHS would fund the facility, they would pay for the training, they would pay for the equipment, they would pay for the training of outer lying police departments who would be sharing information with the fusion center. So it's all funded by DHS. And so what is happening is the Department of Homeland Security is basically coming in through the back door, and they're both federalizing and militarizing our law enforcement. So they're, training them on counter-terror practices. They're teaching them these very, aggressive ways of dealing with people, and they're dehumanizing the citizens, and they're training them that we are the threat. And that's where you see all these strategic reports that are coming out from DHS National. You've got them coming out of Texas, Virginia, Missouri, that are profiling people upset with the federal government. So, biggest problem, federalization, militarization of our state and local law enforcement.
What's the end game? What's their goal, you think? If that's actually happening, no doubt it is, what are they getting ready for?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know their intent per se, but I can tell you what their capabilities are. If, let's say, they decided that, for example, the healthcare bill that's gone through, all of that's being digitized, all of your healthcare records, that's something that fusion centers would have access to, financial data they would have access to. Driver's licenses are being changed so that you're not supposed to smile, so that you have the facial recognition technology. And we're moving to the point as a society where there is so much technology and so much surveillance and so much data tracking that they are literally at the point where if they decided, okay, all of these crazy Ron Paul supporters, we are going to flag them all. When you've got TSA doing full body scans, they could very easily identify all of those people in public. If they're at a rally and they have facial recognition technology, they can run the face of every single person who's walking by them on that rally with the facial recognition technology. And then essentially, once they have your healthcare stuff compiled, they have, with this cap and trade stuff, all of the water meters, electricity meters are all being digitized. They can all be moderated from a central place by the city or by the state. And when all of this is going through one central place through the fusion centers, they essentially will have the ability to cut people off, cut off their access to society. They will have control over your electricity and your utilities. They will have control over your healthcare information. They have control over your financial information, your driving information. So they can cut off your right to travel. I mean, you've got these speed cameras that are being set up, your red light cameras being set up. They can know where you are anytime, all the time. I mean, once they have that biometric information, they can do anything with that. So I don't know what their intent is, but I can tell you we're looking at a real-life minority report. It's literally happening right now.
It's pretty technologically enhanced police state, and they obviously have some ill intent for me.
I think without a doubt there's some ill intent. If there wasn't ill intent, they would not be profiling people upset with the